All right, we just wanted to give a quick review of the Hagan-Stone County Park and Campground. We are in just outside of Greenboro, North Carolina, in a place called Pleasant Garden.
We've stayed here for 5 nights in March of 2019. It was $25 a night for water and electric. First impressions of the park when we first drove in, it's a really beautiful, well-maintained park. It's actually 409 acres of wildlife refuge and county park.
The signage to get to the park office where you register, there was nothing saying, you know, campers this way or do whatever. So we ended up having to go all the way to the campground, drive around a circle and go all the way back and then figure it out from there. Parking at the camp office is pretty much non-existent for RVs unless you have a very small RV.
Right, so they could really improve on that by just putting some signage up to make it more clear on what exactly it is campers are supposed to do to register. So the campground has an A loop, a B loop, and a C loop. The A loop is for tent campers and the B and C loop are for RV campers.
We found that the B loop seemed like smaller spaces. It was more wooded, which was prettier. But the spaces were smaller and it felt like tighter turns.
That loop has 29 sites. They are 30 amp electric and shared water, so 2 sites share the same water spigot. Loop C is the loop we chose to stay in, which is basically a big open field with a few trees throughout.
Loop C has 41 sites with 50 amp and 30 amp hookup, and they are shared water spigots between the sites.
Loop C does accommodate larger rigs up to 45 feet long. Now, one thing that we did notice about both of the RV loops is that they are very close together, the sites are. So while we're here, it's not even remotely full. It's maybe a quarter full. So everybody's able to spread out and it's great. But if this campground were full, you'd be right on top of one another.
They have recently done some upgrades to the campgrounds. All the sites have been pretty much re-leveled with gravel, so they're nice and level for the most part.
Yeah, they're not perfect, but they're pretty close. Each site does have a picnic table, and some of the sites have campfire rings, but not all of them. None of the sites have sewer, but there are 2 dump stations?
2 dump stations, yep.
They do sell firewood and ice, and there are multiple vending machines available.
There are 2 bathhouses, both located near the C loop. They are dated, but clean. We found both bathhouses to be very clean. We did find the one bathhouse seemed to have hotter water than the other, which was nice.
And that's actually the older looking of the two.
The older of the 2, yes.
So each bathhouse has 2 showers for men and 2 showers for women. So that gives you a total of 4 showers for each men and women. So again, not a problem while we were here, but I could see if the campground were full that the showers could definitely get crowded.
It would get pretty busy in there, yeah.
Right, definitely. And without sewer hookups, you know, we like to take long hot showers, so we use the bathhouses. Moving on to the park amenities, this 409-acre park.
It's a huge park.
And
beautiful, huge park.
It is. It's very well maintained. There are a lot of hiking trails, mountain biking trails. This is a great park for kids. There are lots of playgrounds. There's an aquatic center with a really big slide. Like, I could definitely see where this would be a fun place for kids.
To bring your kids, yep.
Yeah.
Multiple ponds you can fish out of.
Mm-hmm. It rained pretty hard one night, and the next day everything was really saturated. I tried to take the dogs for a walk on the trails, and it was basically like a little stream.
But to be fair, this area has been getting inundated with rain for the last month or so.
Right, exactly.
They also have multiple historic buildings. They have an old cabin, they have an old church, an old tobacco barn, an old schoolhouse, which was kind of cool, and there's trails that go to certain ones.
Yeah, just lots of things to explore. Proximity to things to do, it's about 2 miles to the closest grocery store, which is a Food Lion, and there are a couple of restaurants in that plaza as well.
Chinese food there was a pizza restaurant,
right.
Italian restaurant.
You are 12 miles to Greensboro, which is a pretty large city, and about 38 miles to
Winston-Salem.
Mm-hmm. So both good towns with lots of things to do. Conclusion, what did you think of the park? Out of 10, what would you rate it?
I would give it a 7 out of 10, and mainly because the sites are pretty close. I don't necessarily mind the open space of the field, but the sites are pretty close, and I would think in the summer it'd be pretty packed in here if it got busy.
Right, yeah, and I think that's a pretty fair rating. I would say 6 to 7 out of 10 as well. It's $25 a night for water, electric, close to things to do is a win in our book. It would be nice, like TJ said, with as much property as they have in this park, it would be nice if they had spread the campground spaces out a little bit more. This would be an amazing area to have like a rally or a get-together, because you're all really close, and there's like center pavilion areas where you can get together and, grill out or whatever. But, we prefer not to be right on top of our neighbors when we can help it. So, yeah.
But definitely a nice campground. It's a beautiful park. The park, I'd give it an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. It's really a beautiful park. But yeah, the campground is just a campground.
All right, guys, well, we hope you have enjoyed this video. This is our first campground review, so we're definitely kind of learning as we go here.
Yep.
If there's anything we missed that you think is important, or anything you didn't care so much about that we talked about, please let us know in the comments below. We're definitely looking to improve these videos, and hopefully bring more of them to you if you enjoy them. So if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up.
And if you want to follow along, make sure you subscribe.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks, guys.